You have to be something extremely creepy to creep out Terreta when you're praising her. Like, Terreta loves when anybody praises her. She soaks it up. She loves it. And yes, she's only really looking for Xylos, but she loves it. She loves whenever people are like swarming around her and everything. But for some reason, Rhino, this creepy dude, absolutely throws her off. She don't like it. She's like, I'm not really sure I like your praise. She's like hiding behind Xylo. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. This dude kind of looks creepy. There's some major stranger danger stuff happening around him. Like, the alerts are going off. Get away from this guy. Which makes me kind of wonder about his backstory, but I don't know if I want to know. I don't know that I want to know about this guy's backstory. I feel like there's going to be something really nasty there. Like, this guy is an absolute scumbag somewhere in there. But I don't know. It implies that he wasn't actually sentenced to be a hero. It is. I think Xylo said something to the effect of a voluntary penal hero, which, yes, it could be to volunteering for a certain job and then he got in trouble during that job. Or is it like overall, as a hero, he volunteered to it? That's what it makes me believe. And if that's the case, this guy seems a little bit like there's some screws loose. Like, yes, it implies the fact that this guy seems to keep saying that he wants to help people, people that he'll never know their names for. It's all about, dying for the glory of saving people that you'll never meet. He's talking about that. Now, whether or not that's actually true, or whether it's like an aspect that he just likes the idea of people like seeing him as a hero, like he's obsessed with the idea of becoming that hero, even though it's not really necessarily he's doing it for people. He wants people to acknowledge him. It could be something like that, but it's like, why? Why wouldn't you just join the military? And again, why wouldn't they just throw him in the military? Like, if he wants to die in the front lines, if he wants to save people, why wouldn't they just say, okay, join the military or join the temple or whatever, join the Holy Knights, something like that? Why would they go, oh, okay, well, if you want to become a penal hero, you're sentenced to it. It's not like you can go to the courtroom and say, hey, can you have them charge me for something horrific so I can go to jail? You can't go to the police station and say, arrest me. That you have to have something. But for some reason, they're like, oh, yeah, sure, let's sign you up. Put the collar on and send you out there. There's got to be something wrong with this dude. He does seem pretty whack. I mean, obviously, it seems like a lot of his decision-making so far in this episode is a lot to do with, like, I guess the minimum damage for the greater good. So if I destroy this thing, I destroy these homes. It didn't imply that there was people in their homes, but it seemed like Terreta was kind of thrown off by him blasting all the things. It seems like, he's damaging homes that is going to affect people in the future, but his mindset is, I can destroy this one building, destroy these guys here, and that'll prevent them from harming somebody else. That's sort of what they imply with Xylo talking about, like, the reason that he was locked up. It doesn't say he killed a bunch of people. It just says that he leveled this village. Like, he leveled all the homes there, which, yes, in a setting like this with, just your random civilians, it's not like they could just buy a new home. It's not like there's no insurance to cover it. Like, these people, they lose their homes, they're going to be like out in the cold for a while until they can come together, get the materials together, or find a lumberjack or something like that. Somebody get some wood or something like that so they can build a new home. They have to find somebody to craft the home. It's not as easy as like, whoop, there it is. So like, him destroying the home seems like a massive thing. And his thought process there is to get rid of the fairies. The fairies are going to harm people and they're in the area, destroy it. It's again, a different way of kind of seeing things, but either way, going back to him as a person, as a personality, again, he seems, I'm going to just say it, it seems like he's got like a little bit of a desire for things. He seems a little bit creepy in that regard. Now, here's the interesting thing, and I think this is sort of why Xylo feels so uncomfortable around him, is that it seems like he's an individual that wants people to like him. He likes that narcissism. He just wants to soak up people's attention. And it seems like he wants Xylo's attention all the time. And that seems to be what Xylo doesn't like about him. Like, I'm not your bro. I'm not your partner. I don't have anything to do with you. You're like too pompous. You're too full of yourself. You have that cocky attitude or whatever. He doesn't like Rhino's personality. But it does seem like Rhino is trying to echo a bit of what Terreta is. And again, I think that's why later on he says that we're very similar. Rhino seems to have, again, a similar mindset as Terreta. Likes people praising him. Likes people acknowledging what he does. And he says at some point that I'm very much like you, Terreta. We're very much the same. You have incredible power, and I really like that power and all that kind of stuff. We should be partners and all that kind of stuff. And Xylo quickly says, no, you're not the same, before kind of changing the subject. I think Xylo knows exactly what kind of person Rhino is. Rhino's the type of person, again, that I think wants that attention for what he does and acknowledgement for what he achieves, which honestly, I think in its distilled version is sort of similar to Terreta. Terreta does things and helps people for the sake of getting praise. That's all she wants, is praise. But I think the difference here is that Terreta genuinely wants to help people. Like, she has it's in her blood to want to save people and be praised for it. Whereas Rhino is like, I have to do this in order to get the praise. It's very slightly different there. It's very slightly different. They might get more into that when they get into Rhino's story again. I'm kind of curious if they will. Again, I have a feeling underneath there is a sense that there's something really nasty, but it might not be. It just could be this guy has some major screws loose. And again, when we get into that, we'll get into it. But other than Rhino, my gosh, episode 10 of Sentenced to be a Hero. Already after 6 minutes of Yap Fest. I mean, most of the episode, the intrigue is around Rhino's character. Really getting to him and kind of touching and scratching the surface of him, seeing how he kind of thinks about situations. Hey, we need some more men. Let's just blast down this wall. That'll force them to have to take action because now there's a pathway to where the nobles are. I did like that mindset. There was a brief moment where I was like, yeah, I like this Rhino guy. They're all huddled up with all the nobles and they're just having them fight the front line while they're waiting for reinforcements. Rhino's like, let's just blow down the wall. That'll force them to have to fight. They'll no longer have that shield. They'll have to fight in the front lines. I did like that. Even though Xylo's like, now just shoot at the ships over there. That'll be the same thing. Again, getting into his character and how he thinks about things is interesting. Outside of him, of course, the other big thing that happened this episode was, yes, the High Priest. We're finally kind of digging that whole thing. And they kind of implied this in the previous episode when Kivia learned about this Mahazel Zelkov. And I was kind of wondering if it was going to be somehow tied with her uncle, but I wasn't really sure what the name significance there was going to be. It seems implied by the end of this episode that specifically High Priest Marlin, or Kivia's uncle, it seems like maybe that family bloodline, or at least him himself, Marlin himself, seems to have a lot of like respect or praise to a specific saint, which is Saint Zelkov. So Zelkov is this individual that was named by the leader of the guild, but it's Marlin himself that is utilizing that name. And I think that's what Kivia picked up on. Hearing that name, wait, somebody involved here doing something specific, and they're using that name, which would imply to me that nobody else would even think of using the name of Saint Zelkov. That she knows that my uncle always talks about Zelkov, always talking about him. So sure enough, with that name's coming up, it is. And again, it could be just specifically that bloodline. Like he is the next heir to that family and thus has the crest and everything of that family. That's sort of what it is implying to me. Not 100% sure there because it doesn't really get into full details. But anyways, yes. Pretty much this entire episode, Kivia. I like to see that kind of attention to detail. Like the entire episode, Kivia's got like she got some shadow on those eyes. She's not getting any sleep at all because she's just thinking about this all the time. Constantly looking at her sword, which again is a sword that she got from her uncle. Until eventually, yes, Venetum comes over and asks about some details about some stuff, says the whole thing about the ship. Looks like the ferries went after the ships. Just wanted to let you guys know. Oh, yeah, by the way, the waterways, let's talk about that too. Sets her off. Like, oh, what are you talking about? What are you implying about my uncle? Just completely blows up. Again, under the eyes. The entire time. Now, granted, before then, she did catch Venetum in the, officers' chambers with all the documents. And yes, that one thing there that had the symbol for Saint Zelkov. So she knew that he was sniffing around that. But still, like, exploding on him right there was like a good sign that she's been losing a lot of sleep. Like, there is a guilt factor that's in her head before he brings it up that kind of just sets her off. But yes, we get to the later parts of the episode where Marlin shows up and has reunited the military and the temple guard in order to come together to fight against the fairies. And they're being invaded through the waterways and everything. And yeah, Kivia is like, wow, great. You're doing a great job. Wise words from Marlin. Thanks, uncle. You're doing a good job. This will reunite everybody and all that kind of stuff for the future of mankind. And then, yes, Marlin says, yes, Saint Zelkov. Now, my prediction right now, and it seems like it's pretty obvious at this point that this Marlin guy is a bad guy. And he's probably going to be the big bad of this particular core. Him along with probably Spriggan, the demon lord that they have there, Spriggan, whatever it was, and Bujum. I think that's going to be like the big bads of this core before we wrap it up. I think they'll probably have a second season for this if it's not confirmed already. But for this court, I think that's going to be the big bads for it. Now, I think what the plot line of what Marlin is probably the bigger question mark here. And I think it really is sort of causing an issue. He's causing a big catastrophe with this town being attacked, and he's using it as sort of a tool to show great feats. Because over here, the military and the temples fighting each other, he's going to go over here cause a problem with the coexisters. The coexisters are going to come in here thinking they're going to be able to take advantage of the situation. And then Marlin is going to reunite the temple and the military to come together to take down this force, at the same time gain the favor of Xylo, and then come back and show those great feats to the higher ups and gain more power. I think that's what we're doing. He's utilizing both sides of the battlefield in order to gain a lot of respect for himself, to use that to gain power. And the big key thing that stood out for me for this reason was the conversation with Xylo. Every time he talks to Xylo, he keeps giving him a lot of respect. In the previous episode, with that whole meeting, Xylo shouldn't have spoken up during that meeting, and everybody was calling him out for that. But Marlin was like, oh, sure, go ahead, speak. Like he's being very kind to a penal hero. And then yes, this episode, he comes out there and says, I heard about your great feats from Kivia. Normally, yes, people would see you as a bad person, but those kids, they don't understand that idea. And I would normally think that same thing, but I've heard these great feats of you. And then he goes to ask about his fiancée. It seems pretty obvious, right? It seems pretty obvious. Why would he be asking a penal hero about his previous fiancée or his fiancée? He shouldn't be, unless he's trying to inquire about Frenchie in general because he knows that she's in the area and maybe finds her to be a bit of a pest. But he could be asking Xylo about that because he wants Kivia to swoop in there, get with Xylo, thus having a family bond with this guy that's tied to the goddess, and again, giving him that weapon. He wants Terreta. He wants Xylo. He wants the two of them for his goals, which again is probably going to be to essentially take over the temple, take over the military, unite everybody as one under one banner, something like that. I think that's really where we're going with High Priest Marlin's story, which kind of sucks because if that's the route it's going, I kind of wish that we spent more time learning more about him before what I'm assuming we're probably going to get the reveal in the next episode. It feels like Kivia's like on the trail. She's like literally every time she's around him, she's trying to give him respect, but at the same time, she keeps thinking about it. She knows he's tied in with this whole situation. She just can't say it yet. I think probably by the next episode, she's going to say something. And again, I wish that we had a little more build up into his character to learn more about him before we're probably going to get the evil bad guy's speech and it's over. We'll see though. I have been enjoying this show enough that I kind of want to read it, but at the same time, it's not a high up on the priority list. There's way too much stuff that I have that I'd rather read before this one, but it's intriguing enough that I want to give it a read. That's pretty much the episode. We had a couple of little moments in here. I love seeing Norgal once again, just like rallying the troops, just finds all the guys from the Adventure Guild and apparently offered titles and money to all of them. It's like, I hope that they could actually back that up. I thought that he was actually going to have the mining guys again, but no, he just, everywhere he goes, he just kind of rallies people under a banner and just, let's go. Everybody just follow Majesty. He's got it covered. And yeah, some more really cute Terreta moments. You could tell, like, even the battle scenes, there wasn't really much action and animation in them. Like, they were very kind of cutaway stuff, explosions are happening that cuts back to the character, that kind of stuff. Very minimum animation for the action scenes, but Terreta, whenever she's on the screen, suddenly, like, it's just, like, the flow of animation. You just know that whoever got that cut for Terreta is like, okay, I got it, boss. No, it's easy. You just a couple frames here, it's fine. You don't have to get crazy. No, I'm going to animate her. I'm going to make her super cute and super fun. Terreta's moments are just always a blast. But again, like, that whole scene with her and Rhino is like, he's just praising her. Your power is amazing and all that kind of stuff. And she's just like, I don't know how I feel about that. Just like hiding behind Xylo. Like, of anybody in this entire series, it's the first time she's like, please stop praising me. He turns around and says, I'll give you a head pat. She's like, no, I'm good. It's all right. But Xylo doesn't give you head pats. No, I'll take no head pats. It's fine. Jeez, Rhino, dude. You got the creeper face. You have a massive creeper face. Oh yeah, apparently Terreta has like a massive butter obsession. she's addicted to butter. Zeph butter. She's addicted to it. Anyways, that's pretty much the episode. I forgot to mention, yeah, I did kind of feel a little bit odd. Last episode we kind of ended on like literally the area being shelled. Now granted, it went from there to the person that was shelling the place is down under the waterways, so they had to have stopped at some point, but it was odd to kind of go from literally the entire town is burning to we're eating breakfast and talking about going out on a date again. I was like, we skipped something. Like, we skipped a ton. I'm guessing, like, after the shelling, they just kind of hid away in the waterway and cut forward a week or something like that, and everybody's chilling, and then suddenly the fairies and that team and Spriggan start attacking again. It felt like a really odd transition. Like we just skipped like an entire volume. So hopefully we don't have something like that happen again. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, become a member. Until next time, take care.